Welcome to You're Not the Boss of Me. If you are determined to break glass ceilings and build it your way, this show is for you. I'm your host, Beth Graves, and I am obsessed with helping you to not just dream it, but make the plan, connect the dots, and create what you crave. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to You're Not the Boss of Me. This episode is something that I am so excited to chat with you about today, to just share what we are doing and creating over in Camp Elevate, which is our free Facebook group. You can find how to join us down in the show notes, but it's the campelevategroup.com. But here's the deal. This week, I ran a Money Your Way free boot camp. And a lot of people probably jumped on in thinking I was going to give this strategy and I was going to have you do 17,000 reach outs, or I was going to show you how to use your Instagram stories to get new leads coming your way. And there are so many cool strategies out there. I share those. I love them. But the first thing that I think we miss out on, and I just actually got a Facebook voice memo. I thought it was a text, so I was going to read it to you, but it's from one of my new Profit Your Way Mastermind clients. I don't even like to say client. It's like friends. We're already friends. And she stumbled upon me because of the podcast and is a legend in her industry and was just chatting with me on Facebook. I love to chat with you all on Facebook and Instagram. And she just said, I'm succeeding, but everything else is falling aside and I'm just struggling with that. I listened to the glass ball episode. And so what I told her was, I want you to shut down your computer and go watch a movie and hang out with no phone with your daughter and with your husband. And she was probably thinking, aren't you like a business coach or strategist or something? And this is what you're telling me to do. But what's happened even in the 5 days we've worked together, and I'm going to actually tell you a little summary of what we did over during this boot camp so that you can apply it to your business. And this works in any business, honestly. And I'm not telling you that I'm the guru of these things. I'm telling you that this is the work that I'm currently doing. And so I'm sharing the work that I'm doing because it feels aligned and it's working for me. And it's when I look back at growing my business, when I've been in this space that I'm going to talk to you about, has been when I have felt the very best, meaning have felt the very best about my business and really about everything. Because I always talk about this is that one thing is not a number 10, meaning a 10 in business and a 4 in your self-care, or a 2 with your relationships, with your friendships, with your marriages, with your partners. We've got to work on that big wheel of how do we keep it all in an energetically aligned space that feels right and feels good. So I received this message and it was so awesome because she said, after I've started to do this work, I'm actually starting to think that maybe this woo thing, this energy, this thing you keep talking about might actually be working, because suddenly this week, people are coming to me. They're asking me about what it is that I do. And I felt just so much different around my business. So how does that happen? And like, what am I talking about, right? Because I have to say that once upon a time, when I thought I knew more than everyone else in the world, well, that's an exaggeration, but I don't think I was very coachable around this piece of it. I was very coachable around strategy. I wanted to hear like what's working, what are the steps, but I never really followed that, because when a mentor of mine said to me, well, when you followed those steps, when they said, when they say this, you say this, or you go over and comment 10 times and then you do X, Y, and Z, and then they're going to say yes. Did you really do it? And did it really work? And I talk about the times when my business has really scaled and grown is when I'm super aligned with my message. I'm doing all of the work around protecting or my energy and being in the highest vibration by putting the routines and rituals into my day, the breath work, the work in just sitting and being still, the environment, right? So what we did over in camp this week was really cool because I decided I would call it Make Money Your Way Boot Camp. And people are like, I'm coming in. I want to make some money. Like, you're going to show me the money over here in this camp. Well, first of all, what happens when a group of people come together with one common goal? you start to have an energy of the group. And our camp energy has always been uplifting and inspiring, cheering for each other. And it's just a beautiful community. And it's because of the beautiful women that are in there. And I'm really, really looking forward. I'll give it a little camp plug. We're choosing the dates now because I want all of you in summer camp. Like, I miss summer camp. I want to hang out at real life camp. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more of those details. I've got a lot coming up in 2020, real life summer camp. And I'm also launching the Profit Her Way Mastermind, which the cart is open. The application process is open right now. If you go to bethholdengraves.com/profit, you can read all about it and what's going to happen in there. And actually, I will share a little bit with you more about that after I talk about what we did in the Money Your Way Bootcamp. So a lot of new people joined in Camp Elevate this week. So we had a lot of new energy, and we started with the very first assignment, or the very first challenge, was for you to have, and so I want you to do this, gratitude around your business, a happy gratitude box where you're writing things down. And my friend Susan Hyatt calls it, I think, her happy basket. And people are like, what do you mean we're going to make money this way? Yes, because I asked you to journal, and I'm saying you because I hope you're over there in Camp Elevate, but I asked the campers to journal and think about what it is that they loved about their product, about their service, about their business, and write it a love letter. Because that gets you back to the belief, back to, why am I doing this? Why am I waking up every day and building this business? And having that belief and that love and that gratitude around the opportunity, and whether it's the success now or success that's coming, that was a huge piece. And seriously, and I love keeping a business journal. I have when every single page in my journal is what I've done on that day. And I'll even write like Facebook Live or this or that. But I didn't do PDFs and printouts because I know how I feel when I'm like, oh, I got to go print this out. And then now what am I going to do with it? So I want the habit and the routine and the ritual of this business journal. So you can say, okay, I had a pretty rockin' month. Like, my numbers are great. I've made more money than I've ever made. That you look back and you see, here's what I've been doing. I'll talk more about that journal as we go in more episodes, because I don't have a specific formula, but I do put my gratitude in my journal. I do put my, what did I learn today? My personal development, 2 or 3 sentences. I kind of do a little affirmation and energy statement around where I'm going with my business, and then the activity, the inspired action. So I asked everyone to, hey, write yourself a love letter. So that was a really cool thing. And people were using lots of markers and stickers, and we had all of the love letters out. And when you're feeling like, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this, like, your energy is high around it. So when you're feeling, and you guys, this works for a marriage, it works for a child, it works for your dog. When you're feeling like depleted of energy, then at that time, why don't you sit down and go into gratitude and write that person, write that thing a love letter, right? That's what gratitude does as well. When you stay in gratitude around things, that you start to have that belief and that energy, and it raises your vibration around it all. So that's what we did on the first day. And the second day, and there were little things, and I'm going to be offering the replay on this. It's going to actually come in an email sequence or series for people to actually go through this boot camp. We're getting that ready, so stay tuned for that. But the next day, what we talked about, let me go back. So the first day, we did talk about, what's your big picture? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And people have done that exercise a lot. But we talked about always like having a vivid imagination. We did the love letter. And then we also talked about what kind of solutions, like as you're doing the love letter, what kind of solutions do you have around your product or your business? And why are you grateful for that? So there were some pieces into that love letter. So then the next day I went into, so think about this. My friend Marianne, when I lived in Michigan, she introduced me to Lululemon. And it was like before Lululemon was really mainstream in the US, and she was from Canada and had this little shop in her home. It started. Now it's an amazing boutique shop. She has incredible things. It's called Ziebenmeyer in Franklin, Michigan. You should go take a look. But Marianne was, during that season of my life, she was my person. Like we ran every morning together. She was like there through the babies, just like a beautiful human. And what a beautiful human she was, because the day that she had some Lululemon, she was selling Lululemon in her shop, and I had never heard of it. And this is when Lululemon was still allowing, I think, small yoga studios and boutiques to carry their line. And I had never heard of Lululemon. I don't even think there were Lululemon stores in Michigan, or maybe even not in the US. And she called me and she was like, "You've got to get over to my house. You have got to see what's in this box. It is going to blow your mind." And if you have never loved a pair of workout pants like I love Lululemon, you just have not lived. And I put on, I think they were called the Groove, and I put them on and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, your butt looks good. You feel good. They were amazing pants and still are. The only thing that I've tried, I like Athleta, but Lululemon is my go-to. And yes, it is an indulgence, but wow. Why would you wear something that falls down when you're like trying to do a squat or a downward facing dog? But anyway, my point of Marianne is this. When she was reaching out to me, she didn't go into like the details of why this was this beautiful fabric and it had this and the seam was this and it was manufactured here and there and everywhere and across the square, like detail, detail, detail. She basically just knew without question that I was on my way and I was going to pull out my credit card or cash for the most I'd ever spent on a pair of workout pants in my life, because she knew without question this was for me. So we talked about with that I was her ideal client customer. She knew immediately that this was for me, and that when you're very, very clear on who it is that you serve and who it is that you need to be in conversation that needs what you have, then your messaging and the power behind what you do and how you share the stories and the testimonials, or when you're talking to your friend or your new acquaintance. So I said, would that have been the same conversation if it was with my husband? He's not going to buy a pair of Lululemon workout pants. Well, now he gets Lululemon because they make it for men and I put it in his closet. But Marianne wouldn't have called him and said, "Don, get over here." He's not her ideal person, right? So this is what we did next is we actually drew pictures, named our person, and talked about these things. And when you're visualizing, and this is nothing new for you marketers out there, avatar, whatever you want to call it. But I really wanted them to say, have a friendship with your ideal person. Where does she like to eat? What keeps her up at night and keeps her worried? Or him or they? What is the last book that she read? Where does she want to go on vacation? Where is her dream destination for if she could take her husband on another honeymoon? Or where does she shop for her food? Does she go to Costco or Whole Foods or both? And what are her favorite kind of shoes? What magazines? Did I say all this? Like, what's her favorite podcast? I hope it's You're Not the Boss of Me. So we talked about this person and we got very, very clear, and we named her and we drew a picture and we gave the details, because when you have the gratitude for the business and then you have the details of this person, of this woman, of this man, of whomever it is, your message gets aligned, right? Then we also did another thing, because I can't just give strategy without activity. So I'm going to whip through some of these things and you'll have to catch the replay email, and I'll make sure that if you're on my list for the podcast, if you're subscribed and you've opted into one of my email lists, I'll make sure that you get it. But another thing that we did was we did the belief. We talked about who it was. But then I said, I want to give you a strategy that makes you feel really good about what it is that you're doing when you reach out. And this strategy that I love to use is, and it's genuine, if there's someone I want to talk to and share like the details, and I think that hearing it might just open their eyes to what it is that I do. Like we talked about referrals. And using referrals as a way, like say to your friend. So I used an example of a friend of mine who is a 10, like an entrepreneur, someone who gets it, but had never looked at like the network marketing thing. So I said, hey, Sarah, can I borrow your brain for just a few minutes? Like, can you give me a time? I just need to borrow your brain. I want to get some feedback from you. I really, really respect your entrepreneurial journey, or I respect you professionally. Literally need just like 15 minutes of time. So when you ask a referral for an idea of who do you know, you are also spreading that happy message of look at what we have onto that referral, that they might just say, hey, well, that might make sense for me to take a look at. And I said, there's a lot of people on your chicken list that if you go referral, they might have a referral for you. But at the end of the conversation, you could also say, well, wow, have you ever considered this? Like, hello, residual income or whatever it is, working part-time, making a full-time income, whatever that is that you're sharing, it might be for them. So we talked about a strategy of using referrals because I want people that are working with me, I want you to be creating the energy and vibration and the space for the work to happen, having the gratitude around your business, but then taking some of this strategy and showing up and asking and talking and having conversations. And my big thing about scripts, yes, some people are out there killing it with scripts, but I also think the people that are killing it with the scripts would kill it any other way, meaning their energy is so high, their belief is so high, their messaging is brief, it's spot on. But like we talked about in the beginning when I was talking about my new friend who said, I feel like people are just coming my way because she started to do the work. So we did a breathing exercise where at least 6 times during the day, you leaned your head back and did some breath work. I'll share a little bit more about that later on in another podcast. And we also did a little tapping exercise. I'm new to tapping, but tapping on your forehead that says, I am here. Like when your focus starts to go, breath and I am here. So that was one of the things that we did as well, was adding the breathing, a little bit of the tapping, the I am here. And a lot of people were like, okay, I'll give this a go. And I had more campers reach out to me about the breath work and the I am here than anything else. So that was really, really cool. And then the rest of the week, we worked on building on that foundation, staying in the gratitude, staying with the breath, staying with the stopping every at least 6 to 8 times and doing the breath work, using creative strategies that feel aligned with who we are to have those conversations. And then we talked about what the personal customer funnel looked like. How does it feel? The thing that is big is when you don't have clarity around how the messaging and how the flow of conversation goes, when it's just thrown out there, blah, 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 blah. Here's a video, here's this, here's that. Oh my gosh, they want to order. What now? They have a question. What now? That confusion is not creating space for that new person to feel comfortable and aligned and ready to go with you. So that was a little bit about the Money Your Way Bootcamp, and we put it all together in the business journal. We kind of made it a full circle of how do you use this mindset work, the breath work, along with getting into activity. We made some lists of people that fit that ideal person. We talked about a lot of things over 5 days, as you can tell, because I'm like trying to pack it in here on this podcast because I like to keep these about 20, 25 minutes. So at the end of the day, the Money Your Way Bootcamp really, really showed us, and from the comments and the conversations that were going on, is it's more than just an action step. It's more than just, let me send 7,000 messages and see who bites. It's about really leaning into, who do I serve? Who can I help? How can I be of service? Having the work around holding space, the breath work, and being in gratitude, your vibration, you guys, I keep saying that, but I'm super into feeling where I am in the day. It just comes up. And then those messages are well received. It seems that people are coming to you. And maybe you didn't even change that marketing strategy. You just changed your own way of being. Have you ever been around someone that's like super crazy and, oh my gosh, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, and it feels so out of whack. Like, oh my gosh, please let me just go over here in this corner. If you hear something, I'm recording at night and little Yogi snoring in the corner. So I didn't want to stop and edit. So this is real life. Dog snoring, me podcasting. We're like showing you the true colors here because normally I pull his rug out. So I apologize for Yogi in advance. But most of you that see me live have heard me say, Yogi, stop your snoring. So Yogi's here snoring away. All right. So let me tell you about something I'm really, really, really excited about. What's happening for us is I really, after starting the podcast and working with my own team and also with private clients, it hit me that there was a need. And I really felt not just a need, but like a calling, so to speak. Like I felt this energy around putting a group of women like we have over in Camp Elevate together and having a space for us to do this work. So what I'm envisioning, and I know will happen because I know what content, what people we're bringing together, because I'm bringing in outside coaches along with what I'm doing. And I want you to imagine a business that is energetically aligned with your mission and your vision, right? A mindset that's unshakable, a daily routine that doesn't have you glued to your inbox, and the tools for you to grow and thrive with your business and life. So all that stuff about how to effortlessly have leads coming your way and how to never talk to friends and family about your business and make $1 zillion and how to use Instagram to sign up 472 people in 3 minutes. I'm a little bit exaggerating there, but if you've known me for more than 10 minutes, you know that I'm about making some serious business moves, but also making a life. All right. So we're going to work on mindset. We're going to work on marketing strategies. We're going to work on rituals and routines. We're going to map it out. We're going to create the plan. We're going to have some accountability. We're going to read some beautiful things together. We are going to create a business. And if you're already a 6-figure earner, then we're going to start to look at what's happening with your own network, with your team, and how can you help to keep them in that higher energy, and how do you keep yourself from being glued to your phone all the time, but having massive success in your business and getting results. And how do you hang with this community of people that are here to uplift, inspire on days that you might not feel like it, helping you to raise it up and get into inspired action that is all about what aligns with you, with your message, what you share, who you actually want to be in business, not who someone else thinks that you should be. So we're going to be doing this. It starts 2020, but we're open now for your application because, like I said before, this is a curated community of women who are doing the work together. So it's not just come on in. It is, are you committed to doing the work? Are you committed to seeing if, even if it doesn't feel like it's a natural thing for you, if this feels different, let's see how that rolls your business along, how you get the results. We're going to, it's not just all, fun and let's have some meditation woo time. We are going to have aligned, inspired, and lots of action around what that 2-month, 3-month, 4-month, 6-month, and 5-year goal will be. And it is going to be so incredibly fun. I'm looking for this word because I'm so excited about this program because I have been dreaming, planning, and using these methods and these strategies for so many years. And finally it's here. So if you want to see if this is a fit for you, go on over to bethholdengraves.com/profit. You can fill out the application. You can take a look at all that we're doing. And I cannot wait. And if you have some questions for me, just pop them over in my Facebook inbox or over on Instagram, and I'll be happy to set up a time to chat with you via Zoom so we can talk about the program, see if it's a fit for you. All right, you guys? So that was Money Your Way. I'm excited for Profit Her Way. And I also want to just end with reading a couple of my favorite reviews from the week. And I can't thank you guys enough for doing the subscribe, sending in the review. That's what puts us up on Apple iTunes. That's what makes me happy, makes me get on here. I mean, I thought it was so much later. It's only 10:30. I'm like, I'm doing this podcast. It's like 1 a.m. It's 10:30 at night. But when you're listening to this, I hope it's Monday morning at 6 or 7 a.m. when it first drops in. So let's take a look at those reviews and then we will finish this up. This review is from Bree Loves Fasting, and she says, wow, this is a 5-star review. Thank you, Bree. And if you guys got to check out Bree over on Instagram because she has a great feed. And she says, wow, I am so glad that I found this podcast at this point in my life. Timing is everything. If you haven't hit 40, still listen. Your life is a reflection of your choices and programming. What do you want in life? This is a great resource to help you figure that out. Thank you for your energy, Beth. I can't wait to see how your journey unfolds. Well, thank you, Bree. And I love seeing your journey as well. And I'm going to read one more. Oh my goodness. This is from Joy is Vibrant. I love that name. And she says, This episode helped realize that it is on my way. I need to believe on all levels that I deserve to be happy, have what I want, and be in all of the places I want to be. I do know what to do and was for a while, but I stalled and cut out and shut down. Now I know I need to do the work and keep believing that I am worthy and deserving. You are worthy and deserving, Joy is Vibrant, and thank you for the 5-star review. And I love when content, that was from the content that we had last week with Deserve Level Rising, when content really pushes people out there to say, yes, this is for me, and I am going to do what it takes, and I am back in action because I deserve it, right? That vision has to be so strong. And revisit it. Use your imagination. Get into that quiet space. And I'll end this episode with what we did in the last session of Money Your Way, is that I encouraged everyone to have in their routine that quiet space, whether it's meditation, devotion, or just sitting in a beautiful space in your brain for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening to make sure that you always have that gratitude every single day. Your personal development, read daily, write that down. And finally, for me, one of the most important things that I do every single day is I send a love letter, a love text. I send to somebody gratitude and tell them why I'm so grateful for them and what they have done for me. And that's something that I started to do. I heard it on a podcast. I think I'm on day 42 of it, and it feels so good. So those are the little things that create big things, that create big changes in your life. And I hope today you loved this episode. I loved sharing with you. And if you were over in that Money Your Way Camp Elevate Challenge, I want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for being a part of this insanely amazing sisterhood and community. And if you're not there yet, I want to see you in Camp Elevate. All right, you guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. You go out there, and if you can dream it, and if you can feel it, and if you can journal about it and imagine it, take that action and just do it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on You're Not the Boss of Me. I'm hoping that you found one thing that you will do today that will allow you to move forward to that big, audacious goal. And I have a favor to ask of you, and that is leaving me a 5-star review over in iTunes. Every single week, I read your reviews. I love hearing what you have to say, and it allows me to bring you more, to get more people to interview that are doing the thing, breaking the glass ceilings, creating what they crave, and helping you with your game plan. So leave me a 5-star review, and when you do, I enter you to win the You're Not the Boss of Me swag. So make sure you leave it, and we'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks so much for hanging with me today, and we'll chat with you soon.